Heavy rainfall linked to the onset of the March-April-May long rains has caused devastating flash floods across parts of Kenya, claiming 4 lives and displacing 347 households. The Kenya Meteorological Department, MET, has issued advisories warning of continued downpours, with more impacts expected in the coming days. Anthony Muchiri, Emergency Response Director at the Kenya Red Cross, confirmed the fatalities and displacements in an interview on March 5, 2026. Currently, we have reported 4 fatalities in the recent flash floods. According to the MET advisory, more flooding is expected. We are already looking at 347 households being displaced, Muchiri said. Most affected families are in western Kenya, lower parts of the South Rift, and coastal regions. In coastal areas, windstorms accompanying the rains have blown off roofs, worsening the humanitarian situation. These floods have affected hundreds of families, and we continue to monitor the situation closely, Muchiri said. Among those who lost their lives is Samuel Wangila, a veteran Kenya Red Cross volunteer, renowned for his expertise in search and rescue and aqua rescue operations. Wangila died on March 3, 2026, while assisting in the search for a missing 14-year-old boy swept away in the Mbagathi River near Nairobi's high-rise area. On the 4th day of the operation, Wangila encountered a submerged live electric wire while clearing debris in shallow floodwaters. He grabbed the wire and was electrocuted instantly. Despite immediate efforts, he could not be resuscitated. Muchiri expressed condolences to Wangila's family and colleagues, noting the emotional toll on those who had recently worked with him. This tragedy highlights the unpredictable hazards posed by floodwaters, including hidden dangers like live wires, Muchiri said. The Kenya Red Cross, in partnership with organizations such as Safaricom, has increased early warning efforts, sending out 17 million SMS alerts advising people to move to higher ground when water levels rise. Search and rescue teams remain on high alert. Muchiri stressed the importance of observing safety protocols. If floodwaters cover a bridge, or if you are unsure it is safe to cross, do not attempt it. It is better to take a longer route than risk your life, he said. Meanwhile, residents of Nairobi who work in the central business district and the downtown area want the city's drainage revamped once and for all. The residents were on Wednesday, March 4th, 2026, forced to wade through dirty rainwater that had covered large parts of the roads, footpaths, and verandas. The rain lasted only a few minutes, about 30 minutes at around 4 p.m., but left half of the central business district flooded. Office workers had to remove their shoes and wade through the floods, with many unable to access their vehicles. Anthony Mumo, who works in the CBD, was left stranded along Kenyatta Avenue following the brief rains. I was unable to access my car because the parking area adjacent to the road was flooded. This is very embarrassing for a city of this status, said Mumo. Meanwhile, the Kenya Meteorological Department has asked residents of Nairobi and its surroundings to brace themselves for sustained showers and thunderstorms in the coming days. Residents now want Nairobi County leadership to address the perennial drainage and flooding problem in the capital. The Kenya Meteorological Department has issued a fresh advisory warning that heavy rainfall exceeding 20 millimeters within 24 hours will continue across several parts of the country from the evening of March 3rd through March 9th. In Heavy Rainfall Advisory Number, February 2026, released on Tuesday, the department said the ongoing downpour is expected to intensify and peak between March 4th and March 7th, before gradually reducing in most areas by March 8th. However, the weatherman cautioned that rainfall amounts above 20 millimeters in 24 hours are likely to persist in the Lake Victoria Basin, western Kenya, parts of the Central Highlands, southeastern lowlands, and the coastal region until March 9th. The department warned that the heavy rains could trigger flooding, flash floods, and reduced visibility, particularly in low-lying and flood-prone areas. Floodwaters may appear in places where it has not rained heavily, especially downstream, the advisory noted. Residents in the affected areas have been urged to exercise extreme caution. The department advised the public to avoid driving or walking through moving water, refrain from crossing flooded roads and bridges, and avoid sheltering in open fields during thunderstorms. Meanwhile, roads leading to Emurua Dikirr Primary School in Narok County, where the funeral service of the late MP Johana Ngeno and 4 others will be held, have been rendered nearly impassable after heavy rains caused flooding in parts of the county. In videos seen by the Star on Friday morning, vehicles were captured moving through large pools of water along the road. The convoy, which included several Prado vehicles, was seen carefully navigating the flooded sections, with water flowing across the road. Some vehicles were also spotted attempting to cross a partially submerged bridge. Dozens of residents gathered along the roadside, watching as the vehicles slowly made their way through the swollen waters. At one point, a man was seen wading through the floodwater as the vehicles passed. The flooding follows days of heavy rainfall reported in several parts of the country, leaving some roads difficult to access. The service will also honor other victims of the tragic crash, including Amos Rodich, Wycliffe Rono, and Nicholas Kosgei. Ngeno died in a tragic air crash on February 28 in Nandi County, while traveling back from an event in Endebess. 4 of his aides were also killed in the incident. Several leaders from across the country attended an emotional memorial service, describing Ngeno as a dedicated public servant and a vocal defender of the interests of his constituents. Speakers at the ceremony recalled the MP as a grassroots mobilizer, whose leadership resonated strongly with residents of the South Rift. They also paid tribute to the 4 others who perished in the crash. Following the memorial service, the bodies of Ngeno and his close aide Wycliffe Rono were taken to their respective homes for an overnight vigil in accordance with Kipsigis cultural traditions, which allow family members and neighbors to pay their final respects before burial. The bodies of the other 3 victims, Nick Kosgei, who served as the MP's cameraman, Amos Rotich of the Kenya Forest Service, and Robert Ketter, a teacher, were transferred to Kilgoris Referral Hospital mortuary. The Pearl of Africa is currently gasping for air. As the first major rains of the March-May season batter the capital, Kampala has once again been transformed into a series of treacherous brown rivers. What was once a seasonal inconvenience has now escalated into a full-blown humanitarian and economic crisis, leaving thousands of commuters stranded, businesses submerged, and the city's infrastructure at a breaking point. The torrential downpour that began in the early hours of Friday morning has paralyzed the Central Business District, CBD. In areas like Clock Tower, Jinja Road, and the Kyambogo stretch, water levels reached waist-high, submerging small vehicles and forcing pedestrians to pay daring youths to carry them across the flooded junctions on their backs. I watched my entire stock of electronics float away in less than 20 minutes, says Moses Katende, a shop owner in downtown Kampala. We pay our taxes, we pay for licenses, but every time it rains, we are left to drown. The trenches are full of plastic, and the water has nowhere to go but into our shops. The Uganda National Meteorological Authority, UNMA, had previously warned of enhanced rainfall this season, but the intensity has caught many off guard. Police have issued emergency travel advisories, urging motorists to avoid the northern bypass and the low-lying areas of Bwezi and Kalerwe, which remain the epicenters of the flooding disaster. The current crisis is not merely a result of too much rain. It is the culmination of decades of systemic failures. Kampala was built on 7 hills, but its valleys, natural sponges that used to soak up rainwater, have been paved over. The Lubigi and Nakivubo wetlands, which once acted as the city's natural drainage system, are now occupied by factories, warehouses, and informal settlements. Despite various bans and Kavira, plastic bag campaigns, Kampala's drainage channels, including the primary Nakivubo channel, remain choked with PET bottles and polythene waste. This blockage reduces the capacity of the drainage system by more than 60%. The Kampala Capital City Authority, KCCA, has struggled to implement the Kampala Drainage Master Plan fully. While some progress was made with the construction of the Lubigi Channel, the sheer volume of runoff from the rapidly growing concrete jungle far outpaces the existing capacity. The financial toll is staggering. Economic analysts estimate that Kampala loses billions of shillings for every day of heavy rain due to lost man-hours, damaged goods, and vehicle repair costs. Beyond the economy, a health time bomb is ticking. In areas like Katwe and Kisenyi, pit latrines have overflowed, mixing fecal matter with floodwaters. This has triggered an immediate red alert from the Ministry of Health regarding potential outbreaks of cholera, typhoid, and a surge in malaria cases, as stagnant water provides perfect breeding grounds for mosquitoes. Government officials have called for calm, stating that emergency teams are on the ground to desilt major drains. "We are working around the clock to clear the hotspots," a KCCA spokesperson stated. However, we also call upon the public to stop dumping waste in the channels. This is a collective responsibility. The critics argue that emergency desilting is a band-aid solution for a gaping wound. Environmentalists are calling for the immediate eviction of high-profile investors from wetland areas and a radical redesign of the city's green spaces.